Welcome to the Water the Bamboo podcast, where we explore leadership, growth, and success. In today's podcast, we're going to talk about something that we rarely really think about, and that is maintenance. See, I believe everything needs maintenance, but we don't think about maintenance a lot until things break or until they don't work. But everything in your life needs maintenance. If you love it, if you like it, it needs maintenance. See, maintenance is often the quiet, thankless work that keeps things running smoothly. We don't notice these things until they break or until something happens. But what in your life needs maintenance on a personal level and a professional level is really important to think about. The first thing I want to talk about is the fact that your leadership as a bamboo farmer needs maintenance. Just all those skills that you have as a leader, we need to actually keep honing those skills, whether that's being a better listener, being a better team leader. We need to actually continue to hone those skills. We don't want them to get stagnant. So how do you think about your own leadership skills and how to improve on them? Like, what books are you reading? What seminars are you attending? What ways are you getting better as a leader to help your team thrive in this very challenging environment? From a leadership perspective, this is super important to think about your skills that you already have that are strengths, but how do we sharpen those and get them better? And also, what opportunities do you have to get better in terms of your leadership skills? Is it that you need to become a better listener? Is it that you need to actually set higher expectations for your team? How do you provide support to your team? How do you remove obstacles for your team? All these things you can actually work on and get better at. Your leadership skills need maintenance for sure. Just like bamboo farming, it requires consistency to continue to water. Same with your leadership. It requires that kind of consistency too. How do we get better as a leader is a really important question. I just want you to reflect on that. In what ways can I improve as a leader? Or maybe there's some people that you admire their leadership skills. Are there things you can adapt for your own? Are there ways that you can sort of think about being a better leader, better parent, better whatever your role is? But from a leadership perspective, it's really important to sort of look at the characteristics that you think good leaders have and then hone in on those so you can improve. I've asked audiences this a lot. One question I like to ask is, have you reached your full potential as a leader? And most people say no. So what's that gap? Work on that gap, the gap between where you think you can go and where you are. Super important. When you get on and off the train in England, they say, mind that gap. Part of this maintenance process for a leader is to mind the gap between where you are and where you could be. You want to reach your full potential as a leader. So ask those questions of yourself. Where can I get better as a leader? How can I evolve? Leadership, it changes. Things change. Things continually change. So are there some skills that you can adapt for yourself to be a better leader? The second thing that I think really needs maintenance, and that's relationships. Relationships need maintenance. And when I think about Water the Bamboo, I think about the bamboo circle that you're in. Those relationships really need attention. So paying attention to those relationships is super important. Oftentimes people take their relationships for granted, especially those close to you. Are there people you need to acknowledge, you need to thank, you need to mentor or help, and vice versa? Do you need mentorship and help as well? But thinking about relationships is really important because relationships will give you the results you want. I firmly believe it's the relationship age. Individuals and organizations that understand this will thrive. How are you maintaining your relationships? Are there employees, customers, teammates, people that you need to reach out to check in on? It's really important because if you don't do this, you'll lose trust. You want to keep building trust with people and keep reaching out to your team, your customers, and those around you. Make sure you stay in touch with people because the maintenance, it's fragile. You know, how much time does it take to build trust? Well, that depends. How much time does it take to end it? Just like that. So for me, it's really important to continue to build trust, but also thinking about in terms of how do we maintain those relationships that you already have. So that's number two. The third thing I want you to think about in terms of maintenance, I want you to think about it in terms of routine. We have a lot of things in our lives that we're routine about, especially like our car. You get your oil changed or fill up your tank or charge your car or rotate your tires. We're used to that kind of maintenance. But what other things need maintenance? Your team needs maintenance. What processes in your life need maintenance? And I think it's real important to ask this question because then we're going to get things on a routine and on a cycle of maintenance. Whether that's we already talked about the leadership piece, but there's other things that need maintenance. Maybe it's even your computer processes. Maybe it's again your team. Maybe it's your customer list or whomever. But if you think about that for a minute, how do we get this on a routine? When I think about routine, I'm thinking something you would do on a weekly, biweekly, monthly basis where you can really check in to make sure things are running smoothly. And when we have things on a routine and they run smoothly, we don't get blindsided by any of the things that can happen. So having routine is a real important aspect of maintenance. So what is your routine? How do you keep the things running in your life in order? How do you declutter? Really important thing to do so you can stay focused on what's really important. On the bamboo farm, you don't want to have all kinds of things in the way as you go to work. And so we need to actually have a routine maintenance in terms of how we even declutter our work environment. Real important to sort of think about a routine from that perspective. And number 4, your well-being needs maintenance too. I think it's important to take care of your relationships and take care of your team and that. But as a bamboo farmer, we want you to take care of yourself too. Your own well-being, your own spirit, your own needs maintenance too. So from so many perspectives, get a checkup, physical checkup, mental checkup. All these things are really important because there are people depending on you as a bamboo farmer. So you need maintenance as well. So what in your life needs to be maintained? You know, whether that's your physical activity, making sure you get enough rest and exercise, and really thinking about what you consume in terms of what you read and what you eat. Really important because as a bamboo farmer, we need you to be strong when things are tough. We need you to be strong for your team and for those around you. So you as a bamboo farmer, put yourself on the agenda. You need maintenance as well. Okay, number 5 is there are a lot of dangers in delaying maintenance. You know, it's really interesting if you think about delaying maintenance. When we delay maintenance on whether it's ourselves, our team, or even our customers or whatever we're trying to do, if we delay this, these things tend to combine. So the cost of neglect is really challenging. So what I want you to think about is really thinking about getting that routine going because delaying maintenance is not a healthy way to live on a bamboo farm and to really thrive. So make sure you highlight those things that are not seen that are really important to work right in your workplace, personal life, what have you. So everything you care about, everything you need, don't neglect. It's really important to neglect the things that aren't important to you. But the things that are important to you, make sure you put them on the agenda. Give them some time. And delaying maintenance is not a good idea, whether it's a relationship, whether it's your computer, whatever it is, whatever processes that are vital to having you thrive. Really important to think about that. Yeah, just like with your car, like these small issues that if you defer maintenance, it can be a problem. If you don't change the oil or if you don't rotate the tires, it seems like a small issue, but over time, they really compound and actually can really cause some serious problems. The same is true of your own leadership and also working with your team. Really critical to continue to highlight these things that are important to you and really take care of them. The 6th point I want to make is that maintenance can be a really thankless job. You're not going to get balloons or a party thrown because you've taken care of the maintenance. But just like with water the bamboo, some of these small, consistent activities are what's really going to create long-term success. And even though it's a thankless thing, it's such an important thing to take care of. These small little things that'll keep your operations running smoothly, whether that's your body, whether that's your mind, whether it's your spirit, whether that's your team. Small actions can create amazing impact. So really thinking about that from that perspective. You're not going to get a lot of attention for maintenance, but you're going to have long-term success. You may not get attention for the maintenance, but you will get attention for the success. But what's really odd about that is if things break down and go wrong, then no one benefits. But obviously people benefit. You and your team will benefit if things go smoothly. So that's really the important piece here, is really thinking about it from that perspective. You can sort of ignore the maintenance just because it's thankless, or you can just do it anyway. That's really what Water the Bamboo is really about, being consistent so those problems and issues don't arise. The seventh point I want to make is that people give a lot of attention when things break down, but you don't want to be that person. You want to actually take care of things before they break down, before the relationships falter. You want to actually get the checkup before your health goes bad. Do all these things before, and you're able to address the issues that you need to. So part of this pre-commitment to do this can really help you in the long run. Clearly, waiting till the last minute or waiting till things break down is going to cost you a lot more time and energy. One of the ways to think about this, you can have the sort of the pain of the maintenance or the pain of no maintenance at all. Either one is going to cost you. And I think the first one is going to be a lot cheaper in terms of time and energy. It's really important to think about maintenance in your life. So what in your life needs maintenance? Think about it from a leadership perspective, from a relationship perspective, from your team perspective, from your customers and clients perspective. What needs maintenance? You know what those things are. Really make them a high value activity and really put them in a routine way. Think about it weekly, monthly, biannually, however you want to do it. But really think about the maintenance. Super important. Everything you love, everything you need needs maintenance. So as a bamboo farmer, I encourage you to continue to work on your leadership skills, work on your skills with your team. Keep this going because everything, as I said, needs maintenance. I really appreciate you joining me here on this podcast, and I hope that you got some value out of this. And if you did, please subscribe or send it to a buddy, send it to a friend, and let's keep watering. Really appreciate you joining me. Thank you.